Oh shit. Here we go again.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
My guys, my peoples, to the No Bullshit Podcast. This is Federico Panero.
What's good? It's your boy De Niro coming in with the bullshit.
Hey, it's your girl Flocka. Thank you for joining No Bullshit, and please subscribe to the button below.
All my peoples with me, where the fuck you at? This is El Shefe with the No Bullshit.
Hi, this is your girl Sunshine, aka Flower Child, and welcome to our podcast, No Bullshit.
Welcome, everyone.
How was
Round of
everyone?
applause.
It's been interesting. There's been a lot of fuckery going on, right?
A lot of fucking.
Lots and lots of stuff going on. I'm just happy that we're able to do the podcast today because of the hurricane. You know, that thing was going on. I wasn't sure if we were gonna be able to do it, but here we are.
Listen. If Summer Jam could go on, then we could go on. You know what I mean,
No,
guys?
Rain or shine.
What I mean by that is if it was a full-blown hurricane and it came this way, it would have messed up with the Wi-Fi, power outages. That's what I mean, people. Hello.
That's what I'm saying. I agree. It wasn't no shade at you. That's what I'm saying. It was no shade.
Drop the hater blocker.
Flocka was coming at me like if I said some bullshit. You heard that?
Drop the hater
No,
blocker.
not
It's
at
all
all.
good.
Not at all. Nothing but love.
Isn't it weird how Summer Jam like rains like every year? It feels like every year around Summer Jam, it just rains, or there's some type of occurrence. Yeah, right. It's like it never fails for that to happen. I remember when me and De Niro went. It also was raining at that time, not during a hurricane. Disclaimer.
And then last year was COVID, so who knows?
Yeah, we were keeping track. Last year, everything was on pause. So,
But don't they
doesn't
have
matter.
like two different I guess like days that two different shows, right? They have the one that's partying outside, and then there's the show that is actually inside MetLife, right?
Correct. But the one that was on the outside, the festival was canceled. They only did the live show.
Right.
the festival, there's a festival where it's like the less known artists, and then inside the stadium is where all the big artists perform. That's the actual show.
Yeah, that's where all the weed and the ganja is, right? Or even it could be both outside, right?
It's also outside too. Tailgating is a real thing. Tailgating is
Right.
It's literally everywhere.
And let me tell you, there's people driving around selling you whatever you need. I saw a guy driving around trying to sell some Douce.
Yeah. And let me tell you, we watched Casanova perform, right?
How much you
And
trying to
this
sell it
is
for?
what
I didn't even ask. You went too fast and I didn't care.
Yo, so Cass 2X was out there.
Oh, Casanova performed that song. I forget the actual name of the song, but it goes like, punch you in your face, I knock your teeth out, right? And it felt so crazy in there. It felt so crazy in there. It felt like motherfuckers was really going to start knocking teeth out. Like,
Yeah.
Wait, what happened with the BB?
Panero gotta edit some stuff.
no, yes. But me and De Niro looked at each other and we were just like, we were so scared. We were just like, yo, what happened? Why does everybody want to fight now?
What's going down? I was ready for whatever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
No bullshit. Talking about energy, right? Like, so I did see some clips. I did not attend Summer Jam this year, but I did see Meek Mill perform. And I'm like, there's certain songs that just hit no matter where you're at, no matter what time frame. They're just like timeless music, right? But I just feel like his catalog has to expand a little bit because I didn't feel like he really brought it out there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I guess. What is his people called on Twitter sphere? Like, his like Nicki got the barbs and Mariah got the lambs. Meek got what?
Right. What, Philly? He got Philly with him. I don't know.
You mean like his following?
And what's his
Yeah.
following name? Like Rihanna got the Navy.
I don't know, but I know he
I don't know. Is it?
I honestly
Alright.
don't think he has like an official name. I could Google it.
No, never mind. It's not important. No one cares. Moving on.
It's just Philly. Philly gotta let him know, like, his music is just a little outdated.
Maybe he in this
Yeah.
new workout. Who knows? I know
I don't
Cardi
really
was
know.
out there pregnant and in some heels.
I'm sorry, I had a lot of
He was
background
out
noise.
there.
Pardon?
I'm sorry, I had a
But how
lot
did
of
he-
background noise.
A lot of crackling noise?
Background noise.
Background noise.
Oh, okay.
I had a meeting in the front. I didn't even know I was supposed to have.
Oh, so yeah, Cardi was out there pregnant and in some heels.
I peeped
So
I
cute.
with a looking
How
like.
was she looking? Was she looking? She was looking good.
Yeah, she looked like
I
she
mean-
had the. My bad, De Niro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. By all means, sir.
The outfit I saw, it looked like she could be a Joker goon with a tight leather, like she borrowed Eddie Murphy's Raw outfit. Just added a
Oh.
corset to it.
He
I was gonna say,
always
it's hard
got
to
some
recognize her.
DC.
It's hard to recognize her these days. That's not the same Cardi B that was on Love and Hip Hop. Just saying.
Right. She's looking a little bit more voluptuous, right? I'm sure she has more extra curves putting that baby weight on.
Oh no, I'm talking about the work, but we can move on.
De Niro, I see you.
I told you I'm coming in with the bullshit.
The
A
bullshit
lot
is
of bullshit going on.
Well, the baby also performed. I believe this was his first performance after the whole Rolling Loud fiasco. So I thought that was interesting.
I heard he
Yeah, I
also
did
gave a
see
shout out
him,
to
yeah.
Hot 97 for like not folding on him.
Oh yeah, really? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, what
So-
happened to Nero?
I said I heard that he had also gave a shout out to Hot 97 for not like folding on him
Huh?
because all the other shows that he was scheduled to be a part of had canceled on him, but apparently he was still allowed to partake in Summer Jam.
Yeah.
So I thought that was nice. Maybe there's a little bit of remorse there, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Like,
Okay.
piggybacking
Gotta work
from
his way up now.
yeah, I don't think he's gonna get canceled just yet.
No, he was never going to be canceled. It just kind of opened the eyes of some fans, I believe. I would think.
Well, I mean, I have
So
my
the
thoughts
person-
on that, but that's a whole nother segment.
Right, and it's
That
valid
would be-
too. It's
That
so
would be
valid.
a part of Federico Pinero's spoopy segment, but let's not get into that right now.
Yeah. Thank you. The Spoopy segment. Stay tuned. My tinfoil hat wears.
So also today, Pfizer, the vaccine for COVID-19 was FDA approved.
Yes.
There was. Yes, there
So
was.
wait, I know
Yeah.
a few of you are some Pfizer
Look.
mommies in here. Question. So
And,
question.
um,
Wait, I'm sorry, Flock. I'm sorry. I just have one question. So does that mean
Bobby's.
that they tested that on children?
I would assume so,
I would
That's an interesting
assume
question.
so.
I don't want to get
because
spooky too yet.
part of it was the fact that they didn't know the long-term effects. Aside from that, not knowing how the vaccine would affect children under 12, correct?
Yeah, I believe
Yes.
so.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I think that
Well,
you're very much
I
likely to say they did their testing.
right.
They
I
did
mean,
their
I mean,
testing
you look at
and, and not for
There-
nothing, like, I did get my vaccine and it was through Pfizer. So I guess I chose right.
No bullshit. I got an interesting theory. Hi, Mr. Bunny. What if some of those refugees from Afghan, right, or children? I ain't trying to get there yet, but I gotta touch it. Sorry, they tested it on them.
That's interesting. Makes you think.
That's a theory. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Insert the
I mean, like, there's so many ways we could go about that.
Yeah, but we don't
statement,
want to. That's that when we touch that topic later on. we'll get into it. So I just everyone, I just that's just my thing. That's what I say. I
I
want
mean,
to touch it to you.
if like I'm on the TV, I'm looking through the channels, and a commercial pops up, and the commercial says, "You know what? Now is the perfect time to get our children vaccinated and protect our future." Right? That's what they say now. I'm not sure if they were seeing just the Pfizer vaccine. I don't know. This whole FDA thing, this whole CDC thing, is just questionable to me. Do I trust it? I do not. But I think like if the FDA is starting to push it out, just like the rest of the country is, and the politicians just pushing this thing out, maybe it's about that time for us to like start paying attention.
Well, speaking as a non-vax, if it gets to a point where I can't live life in order if I'm vaxxed, Pfizer will be the way I go. So,
but excuse me, no bullshit. Go ahead, Sunshine.
No, I was just saying De Niro was about to be a Pfizer poppy.
Yeah, he's about to be a Pfizer poppy.
Right. Although,
But I believe I saw on my timeline that New Jersey is gonna start mandating. I know non-vax people. They're gonna be COVID tested. I don't know how often. Like I know state and administrative officials need to be vaccinated, and I believe I read something else. When I find out, I think I'll post it up. I'll put it in the video.
Honestly, I just feel like no one should be getting mandated for anything.
Right.
Honestly, I feel like no one should be getting mandated for anything. It's our right to want to or not want to, which means it's our right if you want to go into a restaurant or not, or just in general. You know what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. What are you going to say, De Niro?
I was going to say, well, I agree with that, but now that it's being FDA approved, it's giving it a little bit more of like, okay. But at the same token, Trump, believe it or not, had recently, I saw a video where he was saying about that he is for the vaccination, but he's also in respect to people's decision not to.
This was in Alabama?
Amendment, I believe, yes.
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, I also believe in that. If you don't want to, it shouldn't be forced upon you. We do still have amendment rights based by the Constitution, but we're not going to get into all that.
That's another topic, right?
Yeah, that's a whole hornet's nest.
That's a whole other.
Yeah, we'll poke at that bear next time.
Yeah.
I definitely want to poke that bear.
His supporters in Alabama was like, they booed him. They were like, go get your shots, go get your vaccine. They were like, boo. That's why I knew it was in Alabama. Yeah, it was interesting. I don't know. People applauded him for the whole Lysol thing too. So like, I don't know. People are like up and down with him. It's crazy.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
With the bullshit, No,
we're with the bullshit, but like no comment.
So are we about to dive into these topics that we got today, guys?
Yes.
These spicy
all right,
topics.
So, we're going to give you a little bit of a syllabus. My topic is going to be regarding Jahanda Peace and her testimony in the R. Kelly trial. And then who we got up after?
To find out what a syllabus was. I'm going to go and Google that shit.
It's okay. So basically, all right. So we're going to pick it up. My
topic is about like how the country is suffering from short staffs in companies throughout the country.
Okay. Flaka, what is your topic?
And my topic is about Afghanistan and how the Taliban is taking control and how everyone feels about it.
And Sunshine, you need to unmute yourself, please, so we can hear your topic.
Anyways, so my topic was on Nicki Minaj and her husband harassed in a lawsuit right now. And that's all I'm gonna say for right now.
Okay. And my topic is story time on toxic relationships. And then the unhealthy choices people make.
We got to get
City.
Yeah, let's get it.
All right, so I guess the first topic is mine. Let's dive in. So over the weekend, there was accounts in the media about Johanna Pace, one of the alleged victims in the R. Kelly trial, gave her testimony about what took place and her experience about this whole movement that's happening with R. Kelly. This is kind of similar to the Me Too movement with Weinstein. So she was talking to the jury in the court about her experience and how she was abused sexually and physically and mentally, and her time there while she's being underage, I think, was also part of the big problem.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So she started giving in her accounts of what took place while she was under Robert's rules, is what she had called him during the testimony. So apparently he liked to be called daddy, and you had to address him as daddy when he entered the room. If not, there was repercussions, such as striking her, spitting her in the face, amongst other things. I mean, it's also good to talk about the fact that she had originally went to his original trial back in 2008 that he was acquitted of for the pornography of child, for that piss on you sex tape.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle. I feel like we need a song right here. So, so he has 9 indictments, charges of racketeering and violations of the Mann Act, which is interstate anti-prostitution law. And in the trial, there's 6 women who are supposedly making these claims. One of them happens to be Aaliyah Houghton. And I'm sure we all know the late, great Aaliyah.
Yes.
Rest in peace. So prior to her demise, she was actually married once to Robert Sylvester Kelly at the age of 15.
Wow.
Pardon?
Sylvester, I didn't know that was his middle name. That's news to me.
Sounds like a molester, doesn't it? Anyway.
It just sounded crazy.
So apparently some of this case has to do with her, I guess, and the fact that she was 15 years of age. I mean, some of the testimony also, I believe, says that she had gotten pregnant, so he had hired somebody to allegedly get and falsify documentation stating that she was of age because she was pregnant. And at the time she was 15 and he was a grown-ass man. So apparently this has been going on for like almost 20 years, and collecting and hoarding women as if they're objects. I mean, let's talk about it, guys.
So Flacca, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is interesting. This is like, at first I wasn't aware of everything that was going on, you know, as a kid, as a fan of R. Kelly at one point, you know, everyone loved his music. And as things were getting heated, I was just kind of like, I kind of knew what was going on, but not really. And not until I actually saw the show on Netflix, Surviving R. Kelly, when I really started seeing and noticing what was going on. And so you were talking about Johanna Pace and what happened to her. I mean, that was so sad. Like that shit, I mean, I'm a mother, okay? And I'm a mother to a little girl too. So if that shit happened to my kid, I would be going for blood. So I am not surprised that they're trying to get this guy, you know, for allegedly doing what he's doing, but I'm all for it. And I also found out that that he also had herpes, and he gave herpes to a lot of these women, including Johanna Pace. So allegedly. I did say that earlier too. I said allegedly.
I got your back, girl.
So yeah, and like that, like this whole thing is just, to me, it's like so sad. And then if you look at the show of, you know, Surviving R. Kelly or whatever, one of the mothers actually grabbed her child, and you could see the child, you know, was really out of it and sad and happy to be home. So there's just a lot going on here, and there's so much more that we probably don't even know about. And to me, honestly, like, I'm all for the cancellation of R. Kelly. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. I just feel like this has been going on for way too long, and someone needs to put a stop to it.
Needs to
That's
be convicted.
Yep.
I agree to that. I wanted to add that what I thought was interesting was that when Jahanda Pace met Kelly, she was actually in his fan club. He had like an R. Kelly like fan club, and she was 16 at the time. He had invited her to go to his mansion, and obviously she obliged because she's like, "Oh my God, it's R. Kelly!" You know, she's starstruck. So she goes. She lies about her age initially. She admits to lying about her age in the beginning. But I guess as things started escalating between them, she actually told him that I was 16, and she pulled out her ID and showed him as proof. And he responded to that by saying, "What is that supposed to mean?" Which is not far off from this interview where he's asked when we're talking teenager. In the interview, he was being asked about his interest in teenage girls, in which he responded, "When you say teenage, how old are we talking?" So we seen that on a live news, so it's not far off from what Jahanda is saying. I wouldn't be surprised that he would react that way to her, allegedly. But it definitely gives off a red flag. And I mean, what De Niro said about Aaliyah, she was only 15. And I thought that was funny because today I was on Twitter and I read a quote from Sinbad. You guys remember Sinbad, right?
Yeah.
Funny
Shout out to Sinbad.
Shout out to Sinbad.
Shout out to Sinbad. So I'm gonna read it to you, and you guys let me know what you think. So it says, when this is what he's saying, quote unquote. When the Aaliyah stuff went down, that's when I was like, no, I'm not gonna mention his name, but one of my people worked for him, and I said, bro, until you cut ties with Kelly, because you can't tell me you don't know what's going on. You can't tell me you don't know, man. You can't. Because he's referring to him marrying Aaliyah. Also, he says, Sinbad said that Kelly was interested in working with his daughter at one point, but the comedian refused, telling his friend who worked with Kelly, "I'm going to kill you first, and then I'm going to go get him."
Wait, what?
Yeah, Sinbad was coming out swinging.
What was that last part? Yeah, what was that last part, Sunshine?
That he was going to kill his son and then go after Kelly?
Okay, so because from the first thing that I read, this is Sinbad talking about a friend that was working with Kelly.
I get that.
So Sinbad said that R. Kelly, was interested in working with his daughter, with Sinbad's daughter at one point.
Yeah.
But the comedian said no, telling his friend who worked with R. Kelly, "I'm going to kill you first, and then I'm gonna go get him."
Yeah.
So, and this happened. Sinbad was popular back in like 90s around there. So you know he was a very famous celebrity at that time, and definitely was in the know to the things that we are not privy to. So I feel like all these allegations, although they are alleged, and I'm only gonna say that because we have to. I still think that he definitely did do these things, and I think it's kind of disgusting too that the lawyer is defending Kelly in the case. She's trying to basically whitewash what they're saying, and trying to say that all these people could have some people could have an agenda, that she's trying to propose that some of the witnesses or the victims are lying. And
right,
I think
like they're being spiteful, or like they. Yeah. I agree with that, Sunshine, because I also have here documented that some of them was like, well, they knew what they were getting into. That's kind of like society and the problem today, like victim shaming.
Mm-hmm. Well, what you want to say, Chepe?
Well, the one thing that is very alarming, right? Like, so we were aware as the country, aware of Mr. R. Kelly and Aaliyah being married, but I see a lot of similarities to this case and to the Jeffrey Epstein case. right? So it's like a lot of like female trafficking at a young age, and females, these young females, reaching out to their friends, telling them that this is a great opportunity to be, by a celebrity. I think it's very sickening. I think it's sad. This is more of an alarming rate that we have to let our children know what's right from wrong. Guidance, I think, is very important in this whole thing, and which leads me to sit there and talk about Miss Pace, right? So Miss Pace, I have read through information through my research that she used to like skip school at the age of 15 and attend these court sessions while R. Kelly was, being prosecuted for the first time. That's one. That's alarming. So if my 15-year-old daughter is cutting school and I don't get any kind of like notification on it, I'm not being told like, why is my 15-year-old daughter at this court case, right? That's one thing. And then the other thing is too, I did also find out that Ms. Pace did tell R. Kelly that she was 19. She said that she stated that she was 19 at first, but to go back to what Sunshine said, like you can tell when somebody is like at a adolescent age versus the like being an adult. You know what I'm saying? So again, she did lie about her age. And the other thing is that I thought that was kind of alarming too was, and I say this
we're gonna say
with no malice, right? Like I'm trying to say this without any malice, but when Miss Pace did find out, or she was under the captivity, I guess she was kidnapped with R. Kelly at that point, because I think they're calling it a cult, a sex cult.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's what they're calling it.
Yeah, they call it a cult. Yes.
That she reached out to attorney Susan E. Logans, who is known for extracting cash settlements from R. Kelly. So I'm not sitting here telling you like maybe this person was going through it, maybe this person wasn't. I'm just getting the information that is out there. There's so many question marks about it, and I can't sit here and be like, look, there's a lot of information that's going towards Mr. Kelly, and I believe a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta see, like, this was the opening statement as far as the trial is concerned. This was the opening testimony, right? Dineros?
She's the first one to take the stand, yes.
She's the first one to take the stand. So this is her opening testimony. So I gotta hear all the information coming out. There's a lot of question marks.
I got a little bit of a rebuttal for you before we get into Pinero's opinion.
Go ahead, Janelle.
So, I actually also have read Johanna Pace's book, The Life Beyond Abuse.
Yeah.
And I also did see the Lifetime special of Surviving R. Kelly, and then Netflix picked it up. So, according to her accounts, she was 15. Yes, she was skipping school, going to these trials. He never approached her directly. He had somebody else approach her and get her information and bring it back to him so he could go ahead and hit her up and try to get with her at a later time. So that myself in it there is kind of sinister in a way, I feel. This girl also had an abused life prior to what was happening there.
Mm-hmm.
So an abused child is not in the right mind and is very easily manipulated. So I do think that her going there was out of the ordinary for a 15-year-old, but who's the adult in the situation sending somewhat other man to go and accost her?
Yeah, I've heard about that a couple times. This is not the first time he's done that with a young child.
Right. And then she was technically still a virgin. She also went on stand saying that he ended up taking her virginity knowing she was underage. Yes, she did say she was 19, but she did also prove evidence to him, according to her accounts, that she was the age that she was saying at that time, which was 16. And he proceeded to engage with her. And I'm sorry, there's no state in this country that does 16 and under. Certain ones are 17. So the statute of limitations there is questionable.
Disgusting. Yeah, disgusting.
In my opinion, I don't agree with it.
Go ahead, Nero.
So I got some quotes that I'll get into in a bit. To speak on what De Niro was saying, that she said that that she was 16 at the time, that R. Kelly wanted her to dress younger than she was already, was basically looking and dressing like a Girl Scout with pigtails the whole nine. That right there is kind of like very, very predator, you tell me.
Piper, right? What they call the Piper.
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 That's like that makes me think like why you got that name. Like you know,
that's another topic. That's another topic right there.
You know, used to collect rats and all that shit. Small rodents. But we're not calling kids rodents. They're not. But to counter what Cheffet was saying, the defense lawyer, R. Kelly's defense lawyer, was actually trying to portray her as a sex, not a, I was gonna say sex groupie, an obsessed groupie fan who was stalking the singer, according to the USA Today. Like De Niro was saying,
they're trying to paint a picture of her.
Yeah, they really were.
That's why it's so important to just hear like the opening testimony and then the evidence behind it.
So like De Niro was saying, she was a virgin. She even testified saying that when she said that she was a virgin, that Kelly had said it was good she was a virgin. She also said Kelly told her he would train her how to please him sexually.
Yes.
So to me, actually, like that's very like he already knew like what he was doing.
He knew what the fuck he was doing.
That screams.
That's a dirty nigga.
That screams like one. Dressing, making someone that's you already know 16-year-old that's a virgin, dresses like Girl Scout, younger than she looks, and then telling her, "Yeah, I'm a train. That's perfect. Basically, I'm gonna train you how to teach me how to please me sexually." You're a pedophile in my book. Like,
and that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like, and I'm not gonna lie. I do feel bad for her. I do feel bad for Jahanda Pace. Her story has been consistent for the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Her story has never changed.
Right.
Pace has stated to regret ever speaking out about R. Kelly because she's worried about the future of her newborn child. She said, allegedly now, I don't know if this is true or not, that she's being forced to take the stand or get a warrant for her arrest and still have to take the stand. So regardless, she is given an ultimatum. So to the quote I wanted to get to, she posted this, I believe, on Instagram or Twitter. She said, "I really wish I can enjoy my last week of pregnancy. Instead of nesting, I have to fly to New York and be there for a week, thanks to me having to testify," let me make sure I'm saying this right, "in this trial. I'm stressed, pissed, and annoyed. I hate when things I should have say over is out of my control." Right? Rants over. Basically, she's saying she's not gonna be ran, and she's gonna go cry in the closet. You know, like I feel for her. You know, that's a lot of stress.
I feel for all the victims.
You know,
I just wanna touch a little bit on what De Niro was saying about the defense lawyer, stating that she was stalking him. Okay. First of all,
I was saying that.
At that time, she was 15 years old. She was 15. How much can this girl really be stalking someone at the age of 15?
Valid, right?
Not for nothing. Like not for nothing. Like now she's testifying at an older age, so it would be a little bit different if she was older. This girl was 15 years old, going to high school. I mean, I remember when I was a 15-year-old crushing on all these singers. You know what I'm saying? How was she really stalking him? To be honest with you, he's the one that was going to the high schools and picking up girls. He was the one sending his people, allegedly, bringing the people, you know, sending his own people to get these girls, or allegedly himself going to the schools, and people are like, "Why are you here? Why are you at the school looking for these girls?" So that whole thing, the whole defense about, "Oh, she's stalking." I mean, come on, a 15-year-old girl really stalking you? You're really going to be scared? You're really going to be pressured? You know, you're going to really be pressured?
They're gonna sit there
You know?
and slander her. They're gonna make her look like she's a super fan and a groupie and all this. Just that way they can try to win their argument. That's their job. That's what they do.
That's
Exactly. And I don't think, and I honestly, I don't think that's gonna work. To be honest, though.
And no offense, like I don't blame the defense lawyer because at the end of the day, that is his job.
Right.
You know, like God knows how much he's getting paid, so I'm not gonna like sit here and bash the defense lawyer. I will bash Mr. Kelly. So Sylvester the molester. I mean, like I hope. Let me not say that because I don't want to say that. Like, I don't want to, you know, like I don't want no bad. Excuse me, I'm sorry. But karma is a bitch. I'm just gonna say that. And at the end of the day, in this life or the next, he's gonna get what's coming to him.
Agreed.
And if he believes, and I believe in reincarnation. I'm sorry, De Niro. I'm sorry, Chefe. I believe in reincarnation. I hope he gets reincarnated into a cockroach. I fucking hope he does.
Oh man,
and I hope I spot him so I can stomp on him.
That's hilarious.
We got another co-host asking questions or a guest or special guest.
Yeah.
He's trying to
Mr.
log
Under
in.
Armour.
Yeah, Mr. Armour is trying to log in. But then again, guys, I really want to like mention this as well. The reason why I mentioned, you know, that she reached to an attorney that also had settlements with Mr. Kelly and stuff like that is because like you need to hear both sides of the argument because I've seen people get wrongfully accused. So like, do I agree with what I'm saying? Probably not, because I see the like
Don't contradict yourself now.
No. What I'm saying is I know what Mr. Kelly's up against. I know the complaints that are being put against him. You know what I'm saying? So, but what I need to do is see all of the information come out before I have a final say. Me and Flocka the other day, we were just talking about like these 4 kids. I think it was this Netflix thing called Central Park 4.
Oh yeah,
about
Central Park
5. Or Central Park 5, right? But like these kids were wrongfully convicted, wrongfully accused and convicted. Yep. And convicted. So I'm not saying here that I'm beside him, but what I'm saying is I need to hear the argument,
the whole story. You need to see it.
I need to hear the whole story before I even sit there and start being like, yo, this motherfucker got to be a cockroach when he comes back. Yeah.
If I can, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
If I can interject, go ahead, De Niro. Go ahead.
No, go ahead and interject because I'm going to wrap this up.
Okay, so like at the end of the day, when we're gonna hear the story is the day we talk to St. Peter and we hear the book and he gives us, before we enter the gates of heaven, if he gives us privy knowledge to what actually happened, that's that. Then and only then will we actually know what happened. Go ahead, Denera.
I mean, I agree with you. Oh, I'm sorry, Denera. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Sunshine, have the floor.
I was just gonna say that I agree up to an extent, because even though like the Central Park 5 was a totally different ballgame that was dealt with. In this case, in R. Kelly's trial case, there are over so many witnesses. There's so many celebrities that have came out and said or made like little hints that they weren't surprised that this happened. I mean, there is proof that he has married Aaliyah. Like, he has a very bad track record. He has a horrible track record. You know what I'm saying? He has a horrible track record, and I'm pretty sure he violated these girls. And I'm not gonna say, like, allegedly violated.
Yeah, I'm not Team Kelly by any means. Let's just get that out there. I'm not.
No, I know that. I'm just saying that. In this particular case, because you said you have to hear all sides before you hear the truth, and that's your prerogative. But my prerogative is If it talks like a duck, if it acts like a duck, then guess what? It's a
It's a duck.
motherfucking duck.
It's a duck.
So what
So
were you gonna say, De Niro?
So, I mean, I'm going to put a pin in this subject. I just wanted to finish off this. Yes, we all have to wait for all the evidence to be provided to see what's going on, but if there's countless numerous women with these complaints piggybacking off of
Mhm.
Sunshine,
Right.
where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Personally, I believe he's guilty. And again, there was evidence with Aaliyah. She was 15 when he married her. Even though the parents were okay with it, it still doesn't justify the fact that she is a 15-year-old child who was not able to make her own choice. Her parents pretty much okayed her marrying him.
Agreed with you, and I
So
agree with
the proof is in
Sunshine.
the pudding.
Right,
So-
but what I'm saying is maybe not all of them were, because like there's been so many like women
But see,
that
that's
went
the
after.
problem with society. People are sitting here victim shaming.
Yeah.
People
No,
are
no,
sitting,
no, no, no,
she's
no. That's
sitting
not what
here-
I was getting. No, no, no. That's
I'm
not
not
what I was
saying
getting
you
at.
are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying people do that. Let the victims get their point across, and then when
But that's
everything
why I
else is,
say-
go there.
That's why I say I need to hear all of the info, right? Because maybe, who knows? Maybe they add another 25 years to his 100 years life sentence, and that was a lie. You know what I mean? Even though he did what he did, even though he's convicted of his felons or whatever, but maybe like there's, I'm not saying that it's happening, but what I'm saying, maybe there is extra women that are coming at Mr. Kelly like they did for Deshaun Watson.
Well, have you seen the
Bill
documentaries?
Cosby. Yeah, I did. I did like last year. Yeah, the
No,
findings.
I mean, they're very compelling.
No. I'm just saying no, because you have to like let the legal system like,
Take a
play
choice.
itself out. Yeah,
Like,
and that's
again,
all
this
I'm
is only
saying.
the first woman.
I agree. I agree with that. I do agree with that. Like, you have to let all the evidence come out before you make a decision. But that what I saw, I mean, it kind of already convinced me. But
Right.
it's true. But it's true. You do need to look at all the facts. You can't just look at one fact and then disregard all the others. So
Well, I mean, I agree, but then when I say the fact with Aaliyah, now secondary, even though he was acquitted of those
Yeah.
charges in 2008
Yeah.
of the child pornography, the singer Sparkle that worked with him on that song "Be Careful" came out saying that was her niece in the video, and she got shunned from her family for putting the business out there.
yeah.
Sparkle, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
if there's again where there's smoke, there's fire.
I agree, and
Time to move on
hope,
from this topic.
absolutely. I hope he gets his well-deserved time behind bars.
Agreeing.
I hope justice is served. But talking about like justice being served, this is also like it hits home in so many ways. This next topic, right now, let's start off with stats. Right, currently the unemployment rate sits at 5.4%, which is a big difference from when this pandemic started. When it started at 14.8, right? So what happens is the country's, really, really in debt. People need jobs. Jobs were being lost, and now the political parties actually aided to the American people, and they started funding them to make sure that they would stay afloat. Now, it's like a double-edged sword to that right there, right? So when you enable somebody to be like, hey, listen, sit at home, your bills are going to be paid, people are going to take advantage of that, right? The other thing is probably, and I'm not going to say here probably, like us as Americans needed the help because a lot of people were losing their jobs. Like I've seen it firsthand. And this is what's taking hold right now in the country. And it's kind of like devastating because it just hit home. Something happened within the family and someone had to like go to work I said that wrong. Someone had to be with that family member and the person's job was basically telling them like, oh, do you really have to go? Because we're short in staff. Now, to me, honestly, I think that's kind of like distasteful, right? But if you look at it from the outside in, like you do have to understand that, like, the jobs have to be performed at a certain level. My question is, why I'm bringing this up? What could we do, right? As far as the political people, that's what I'm talking about. What can they do? Do they give incentives for people to go back into work? Do they? Because I know the higher ups, as far as management goes, like they have to take on more. And if they take on more, then it's not right for them and their family because now they're struggling. Like, this is really like a sensitive subject for me because, like, if let's say, God forbid, this person wouldn't be able to leave out of their job and then my family member had to be there by themselves, obviously we wouldn't let that happen. You know what I'm saying? But still, you don't want to be put in a position where it is where, like, hey, listen, I got to be there for family or I'm going to lose my job. Right.
No
So
bullshit.
what can the political or the higher ups, the people in power can do to actually get people back into work? Yes, the numbers had dropped drastically, but we still need people to want to go back into work. Is it because of the vaccines as well? Do we mandate those vaccines? Like, it just opens up the door for so many other things, and I'm open for for suggestions and opinions. Let's get to it.
Michael.
Yeah, so all right. So this subject is also kind of interesting to me because they're saying that they're short-staffed, but then there's so many people unemployed. So that already is like a red flag. Like, how are you short-staffed and there's so many people out there still unemployed? That part always just doesn't make sense to me.
It was the incentives.
Right.
People were like getting unemployment money and not risking their lives with this vaccine, with this COVID thing. So they rather just collect unemployment, which I don't blame them, right? Like, shit, like if I had the opportunity, I would have did the same thing. But
you just cut her off.
Oh no! I was just saying that she didn't understand why, like, there was so many people unemployed. That's what it was.
Yeah.
That was.
There's a lot of people unemployed for many reasons. It's not just because of they're scared of the COVID or the coronavirus, because there was a lot of people out there still trying to work and were very sad that they lost their jobs and they didn't know how they were gonna freaking eat tomorrow. So there was still a lot of people out there still trying to go to work. So my thing is this, like, there was a lot of going on about, like, there were like a lot of jobs. I'm not saying every company, but a lot of companies were not being sympathetic to people's struggles. Like, let's say if someone in their family had COVID and they're like, listen, I have to be home for the 14 days because I also have to be quarantined. The job is like, well, you got to figure it out. They wouldn't give them like in my job, obviously we were covered, but not every job was like that. So people were getting fired.
Yeah, go ahead.
So people were getting fired because they couldn't get to work, or childcare. That was an issue too. People were trying to find who can take care of their kids, but nobody wanted to take care of their kids because they didn't want to get infected. They weren't sure if the kids were infected or not. So this was like what is it called? Like a domino effect. So there was like a lot going on. And to answer your question, El Chefe, about how to get people to start going back to work, there are a lot of people, like you said, there are a lot of people taking advantage of the system. Why go to work when I'm getting all this money, right? And the way I see it, I mean, people could agree with me or not. I feel like there should be a time limit of how long you should be getting that unemployment benefits. Like, you don't want to stay in there for 5 years. So they should be like, you know what, we're going to give you like 2 years or some kind of time limit of when certain people can start looking for work again, because then that makes them too comfortable. I've seen this plenty of times where people have been in the under unemployment for 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So people get lazy. And so in order, It's true. It's true. I've seen it plenty. I know a lot of people that have been on the welfare system for a long time. And why work when you can just have it for free? So I feel like there should be a time limit of when you should start looking for work again. That's how I see it. I mean, maybe some agree, maybe some don't, but that's how I see it. That's how you push people to go back. That's how you push people to say, hey, listen, it's been a year.
I know you wanted to say something, De Niro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I'm gonna wait till they're finished because I actually got
I just really wanted to say that, like, on September 5th, the PUA is supposed to end. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Okay. But that's basically how I see it. If you want people to start working again, there needs to be a limit to how long they can stay on unemployment and start pushing them to start looking for work again. That's how I see it. That's all I wanted to say.
So I kind of agree with Flacca. Me being in the medical field, I still had to work throughout this pandemic. And it kind of feels like everybody who couldn't work or didn't want to work or whatever their case may be were benefiting while the frontline workers and people who still had to sit there and go out into the public where everybody's possibly being exposed and risking their lives have gotten really nothing. And I my job had me working. Yeah, we were closed as far as patients coming inside, but I'm still traveling and going to these places where there's other people who could have been out doing other things. So, people out here are taking advantage of the system, but that's something that this country's always had a problem with welfare, Section 8, all that for years. Right. Also speaking, my job is also short-staffed because people don't want to work yet. Hopefully September 5th, when the PUA stops, people will start looking for work.
Now, did you guys receive pandemic assistance as well? Like hazard assistance? Did you guys get the check?
My company personally, so we were furloughed when everything hit, but we would still have to travel X days to go to work. And then it had to be under 15 hours in order for us to claim unemployment benefits. So I was partially on unemployment and partially working. Then we did that for a month. And then after that month, we would work X amount of hours and the difference the company would pay for, because that's at the time when they came out with the PPE loans. So
I just feel like the people that work in the medical field, they're not being taken care of. The first thing everybody was saying was like, you guys are heroes, you guys are heroines, but where is the compensation behind that? Where is the reward? You know what I'm saying? So like, I agree. That's also another.
I agree to add to De Niro's point. I obviously I work in the medical field as well, and the whole time I worked, I never had like a break or anything. I worked the whole time, and the place I was working at really did not care about like safety. Like they didn't really follow CDC guidelines. There was people who did have COVID that I ended up coming in contact with, but thank God, I never got anything from it. But healthcare workers were definitely put through a throttle. So while those people on unemployment, I could see why they would want to be on unemployment, at least some people, because if you're getting paid more on your unemployment just to sit at home and do nothing, and then or to go to work, get paid peanuts to be dealing with all of this nonsense and get exposed, I could see on the opposite side of the spectrum that it's not as it doesn't sound so bad, especially a person like me who was going through so much, and I definitely wasn't getting paid what I felt like I deserved. What you deserved,
right? So, by putting your life out there on the line.
I do agree that some people do take advantage of it because that's just natural human beings. There's good apples, there's bad apples. I agree with that, but I'm not going to assume that all of them do, because there's some people out there that
need the assistance,
that they definitely probably need it. And if you're going to get paid more money, to not do anything, I don't see why not, especially if you have children or you have elderly where you have a risk that going outside and being in contact with so many people can expose. So I think that,
Mhm.
I don't think that's everybody.
How do we get people to go back to work?
All right,
Hopefully,
so
like, with this PUA ending on the 5th, that's going to be incentive for people to go back to work because they're no
Yeah.
longer going to be needing that extra assistance.
I remember there was another bonus. Like if you went back to work, you were supposed to get like a $600 bonus for returning to work.
yeah,
But
Then
then
what
like
is
it's
the
still
bonus for
there.
if you never left work? Like,
Right, but this is
Seriously,
what I'm
where's that
saying.
bonus
Like,
for everybody else who was working and busting
I
their ass?
completely
You know?
agree. I completely agree. But
Not
I see
just-
like how so many companies are struggling for people, and like now more responsibilities fall on the next person. But
a
how
lot of
much more
companies are
responsibility?
shiesty too. A lot of
Yeah,
companies
and
Yeah,
then
so
like you
that's
actually put yourself
timelines.
in health risk as well
That's
because now
why
you're still out there.
Yeah, that's why I stated before that these jobs, they want people to come, but then they're not going to treat their employees fairly. And that's why people leave. And that's why I mentioned before, when someone goes to work and now, their kid is sick and now they have to stay home, but they're like, oh, well, you need to find someone or you're going to get fired. Like, that's not right. And that's why people are like, you know what? I'm going to get fired. Fuck it then I'm just going to collect. You know what I'm
Then
saying?
that
Like
comes
that.
into, then
Right.
that could bring suit to the company for wrongful termination.
Right. But it does happen. It does
Right.
happen. They could just say, oh, she didn't return after such and such time. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, they need to treat their employees fairly too. So,
Nero, what's your thoughts?
That's what I was gonna say.
So, like, I agree with all you guys. I completely agree with what you're saying. I feel people that work in the medical field, you guys are the ultimate heroes through this whole pandemic. I feel out of everybody, even teachers, need to be compensated. Because teachers too, because kids aren't vaxxed. But the teachers are losing jobs because they either being mandated or some BS. This is some BS. I don't know, like I'm gonna say oh, go ahead, Chepe.
No. Shout out to all the frontline workers. This one was about you guys.
No.
Go ahead, PP.
Yeah, so honestly, it's intriguing because there are people like I said, that's like that are given ultimatums basically. Like you need to find, like, my job is short staff. Like we need at least 3 cooks.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my boss. Shout out to Gordon Ramsay.
Shout out to y'all. Get to the bagger.
So, like, it sucks, like, when people lose their jobs, because I was working when I was in Rhode Island. I was working at a chain restaurant, and they gave us some precautions, like masks, glasses, but like when my girlfriend at the time got sick, and I let them know, hey, I got in contact. They said, okay, we gotta wait till you get the okay. I was cleared, but because she still had to be quarantined, and anybody, they basically said, like, I never returned to work when I tried to collect unemployment. And mind you, this was when, like, they were giving, like, people the bonuses and stuff. Right. I was supposed to hear, and so that was, like, I want to say, like, the beginning of COVID. So I want to say, like, February.
When COVID really hit, it was like mid-March, like when things started.
March, February, March.
Yeah, February, March. It was like,
no, I was working at I was working at the
spot
spot in February. Like, that's when I started working there.
Okay.
So in March, that's when she contracted COVID. So the whole month of March, I was basically out of work. So when I tried to collect an unemployment because, a whole month I'm out of work because I have to quarantine because she's not cleared and everybody in the house has to quarantine. They basically said I never returned to work. And this is a multi-chain restaurant with spots globally.
Right.
I would say the name, but, like, I ain't trying to get sued or nothing.
No bullshit.
So it sucks. It sucked. And then, like, mind you, so I called in March. I didn't hear to them until I moved. And this is in August, so, like, the day before my birthday. They calling me to tell me that I'm not getting another appointment. I've been knew that. Y'all calling me now. I done moved out of state. I got a whole new job. Like,
Did you feel that like they wanted you to remain at work even though you were exposed to the virus?
I think so. And even though we were takeout only, I'm Safe Serve certified. So for those that don't know, I can work. I know how to properly handle food.
Right.
You know, I'm not an
You're
executive
important.
chef.
You're important, bro.
Shout out to Panero.
I'm not an executive chef, none of that. But you know, I just know the basics that you need to know. I'm not culinary school trained, on the job trained.
Right.
You know, it just sucks. I don't want to expose nobody to that.
situation.
You know, it's just, and there are some lazy people I believe out there that's just abusing the system. People that apply for business loans that had no business just to get that extra money. You know, all this stuff. Like, there are some people I believe that did abuse this. And then it sucks for the people that do need it. It does.
Right.
ahead,
I know
Panero.
a lot of boys. Oh, go ahead, Panero.
Panero. I seen his hand raised.
It's Dinero. What's up, baby?
NANI?
Backing off of Professional Panero and his encounters with work and COVID, I kind of have a similar situation where there was someone in my workplace that contracted COVID and we were possibly exposed to it. And the company technically was supposed to shut down by those guidelines. I mean, everywhere else, if one person was exposed that was open partially, the entire place shut down.
Right,
and it wasn't that way. We ended up doing a skeleton crew. So it would be, instead of full staffed, it would be 2 people alternating days. And if we were exposed, how are we sitting here alternating? Like, it didn't make sense to me.
Right.
And then we had to get tested. We had to require a test to return back full time because they weren't offering it. They were like, okay, this is the day you come back. And we were like, no, we want to be tested before we get back, making sure we are negative.
Wow.
So
It
when
sounded
I
like I needed
said before,
really nice.
and mind you, I'm in the medical field.
Yeah, it sounds like I need a union rep.
I mean,
that's why I understand where like people in the medical field where they be like, listen, I've heard stories where doctors killed themselves because it was too much. I've heard nurses quit, doctors quit because it was too much. And it was and last week we were just talking about mental health. I can only imagine what that's doing to you guys. Like, so I understand
people that were in the front lines and not being able to go home. They had to go to work and stay at work for like 24, 48-hour shifts and then go to a hotel and stay in there to go back to work the next day.
Yeah.
So I understand why there is a short staff. You know what I'm saying? I get it, especially in the medical field. But it's an alarming issue within America right now. Like, do we get these vaccines and everybody get like, fights it together, right? Or we're going to continuously have this debate where, is the vaccines or not vaccinated people, and do they get compensated for? I think they should get more compensation since they're not vaccinated because it's their human right to, but they're still out in the front line. But it's just an alarming issue where people need to like come to work because.
Or is that the agenda of the pandemic? My apologies. Pandemic.
Record scratch.
We will never know.
The world may never know.
Or how's it? The world may never know.
That was a great topic, guys. Great topic.
Yes.
Yeah. So we know it's moving to Flacca now.
Yeah. So mine is pretty much like world news. I'm getting a little bit more in the political side. I want to talk about Afghanistan and what's going on over there. So recently, we all know that just recently, I would say about a week ago, I heard that. I'm sorry?
It was all good about a week ago.
Oh, yeah. For real. Last week, we were, they were doing okay. The U.S. was still over there. And then this week, they're taking, the Taliban has taken over. And I find that it's very concerning, at the same time shocking, because they started taking over as soon as America was leaving. Like the American soldiers, all of them were starting to leave the country. And then all of a sudden the Taliban took it over within like a day or two. It was so easy for them to take it over. And I find that a little concerning, because it's like, not for nothing, we've been over there for about 20 years now. The American soldiers, the military, all, the personnel have been there for 20 years. And for 20 years, we've been rebuilding with them, trying to get their government settled, giving them ammunition, giving them, pretty much everything that they need to rebuild while we're not there. And for us to say, okay, we're leaving, and then in 2 days, it was just taken over again. And I find that to be very, kind of crazy. And I heard that a lot of American people were upset with President Biden, because they're like, why are you taking your troops out of Afghanistan? But then I've been hearing for many, many years how many people are saying, oh, we need our troops to come home. So, of course, there's always that, that balance of, oh, they should have stayed, they should have gone. And then Biden and his people made a statement stating that they were there for 20 years and they were trying to give them the control, saying, hey, listen, now you have your government set. It's your turn to start fighting for your own people, for your own country. It's almost like we were there. We were like the training wheels for you. Now it's time for you to walk.
Run, bitch! Run!
And so they started pulling out. Taliban came in. It was chaos over there. It's so sad. You see people trying to get out. Everybody's at the Kabul airport trying to get out of the country because they're fearing for their lives. We all know the Taliban has been around for many, many years. They don't like women. But for some reason, when the Taliban did take over, they said that they were going to give women more rights and things like that, that there's quote unquote changed. But obviously no one's believing that, and people are leaving the country or trying to leave. There's people, if you see in the news, throwing their babies over the fences, telling them, save my baby. And it's just so sad to see that, you know what I mean? And I just want to know how all of you feel about it, and if you agree with the fact that we pulled out from the country and now we're trying to let them figure it out on their own. There's plenty of people dying there now just trying to get out of the country. I did read about a woman who took the robotics team. There was like a all-female robotics team from over there, and as soon as she saw that the military was pulling out, she went over there, grabbed all those girls and brought them to the United States. But not all those people were that lucky to do that. So I just wanted to see, what you guys think about it, and if you think it was the right thing to do to pull out.
I wanted to say no bullshit, but it was hard for me to say no bullshit while you were talking about that segment. I was like,
Flocka went deep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying.
You heard me, baby.
Who wants to go?
I ain't gonna lie, I want to go last because I'm gonna take it spoopy. I'm gonna go left field with it. Yeah, I know me.
I'll go next to last because I'm gonna be spoopy a little bit too.
Okay, so that's what I'll cue the music before you.
Okay. So between El Chefe and Sunshine.
Sunshine, you've been quiet over there, mamita. You can take the floor on this.
Well, I was doing some research on this today, and upon my research, I found that actually the plan to remove the troops from Afghan came from Trump's administration.
Facts.
It actually started from Trump's administration, and Biden just carried it out. But this was already implemented. And what I believe happened is that when Biden was, following in on the plan, I guess, the Taliban were privy to this and thought with them, I guess they saw it as the defense was down. Like Americans were starting to pull out, so they didn't have the protection. And then the people, the the Afghan people who worked with the US government are now open because they don't have that shield anymore. So I think they thought that, in my opinion, I think they thought this was like the perfect moment to attack. Because their defenses are down. Right. So I saw that this war has been going on for like 20 years. So I understand the need to withdraw the US. I mean, those are people that have been dealing with it for about 20 years. You know, they probably want to go home to their families. So I'm not against that entirely. But the devastation, that the aftermath of it is definitely disheartening. I saw that there was like a video I watched where it was like a bunch of Afghans like just like basically like sardines on this like US plane, like that was, or a helicopter that was taken off, and people were so desperate to leave the country that while the plane was taken off, they were grabbing onto like the wing and stuff, and they ultimately died. Like at least 7 or 8 people died. They fell to their deaths because they were so like desperate to leave the circumstances. Like, you know, the Afghan president is also one of the people that left. He went on the aircraft, which I thought was interesting. Because I feel like I know it's kind of like a save yourself situation, but I feel like as a leader, you should stay behind and let other people take that spot, because it's for the people. But I know government ain't for the people, but it's just, you know, something to think about. I think that's kind of funny. But anyways, the Taliban are trying to say that they're not gonna do what they did before. The people obviously don't believe it, but they're trying to sell them that, you know, we're not gonna go and make women, like, because it was really bad for the women, mostly because for the women, they weren't allowed to do shit, and if they were to go outside, they needed a male occupant like their husband to go out with them. They couldn't go to school, they couldn't work. Like it was just like, it was basically stripping away a basic human right for the women. So they definitely were going through it, and they just don't want this to be, they already know what's going to happen there because they already been through it with the Taliban. And
this isn't new.
And the Taliban are trying to sell it like, hey, no, we're not those crazy guys. We're not going to give you all these rules. We're not going to strip you away. It's going to be totally different. We're not going to kill anybody who work with the US government, which, you know, how can you believe that? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How can you believe that? Like, this is a fucking radical ass group. Like they run around with guns and AK, you know, like they're definitely gonna kill people. They're definitely looking to kill people. And I can understand the need for them to want to flee the country. I mean, I feel really bad. I feel really bad for everything that's going out over there. It's some sad times.
It's horrible to witness, right? And the chilling thing that I got the other day, do you guys remember when that reporter was stuck in Afghanistan and he was murdered on live TV? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
All right. On live TV, right? He was an American. There's hundreds of Americans, I don't want to say millions, hundreds of Americans that are located in Afghanistan right now, and they need to find a way home because they're starting to feel unsafe, right? So Biden basically, he told the embassy, they shut down the embassy over there, right? And so basically they're telling these Americans, like, listen, the only thing that we can do for you is if you get to the airport in Kabul, that's when we'll be able to get you on your plane and stuff like that. I can only imagine the scare in these people's feelings right now. It's absolutely horrible to witness as well. But the big date that I researched was August 31st, and that's right around the corner. President Biden was saying that like he wanted all the Americans out by August 31st. So that's a very interesting date to like highlight, to circle in your calendar, because shit might just hit the fan by that date. So And the other thing is what Biden's comments were. I was aware that this was a Trump administration thing going on, but he also said, and don't quote me on this, I was trying to look for the quote, but he said something to the fact like, we aided Afghanistan for such a long time, but we weren't, like, basically he was trying to insinuate that like it wasn't for us to recreate a democracy for your country. That's what he said. Do you guys remember that comment? This comment came out like 2 days ago.
No, I'm not gonna lie.
By Trump?
No, not by Trump.
Biden.
By Biden.
Said that.
Yeah, like he said
like,
something basically kind of like what I said before. Like basically like they were there for 20 years and basically like we were helping you and basically like kind of like stating like I said, like training wheels or something like that. Like we helped you and we aided you for 20 years. Now it's time for you to be on your own and figure it out. We already basically like we already helped you. Basically
he's like, hey, listen, like we're not gonna help you create your democracy. This is your country. You're gonna have to like figure it out. It's time to get the troops home. And I kind of feel like it's the right thing to do. Like if we are supposed to have this manpower as America, and America is in everybody's business, right? As a country, like we're in everybody's shit. If that's the case, then Afghanistan needs to be territory of America. You know what I'm saying? Because we already been there for so damn long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like something has to give. August 31st, very important date.
Yeah.
So my thoughts are, in the sense of what's taking place over there, I'm going to piggyback off of Sunshine when she was saying about the plane where all these Afghanis were in there and they were like sardines. Apparently there was 8 of those planes that came into American territory because America's bringing them over from over there. None of them were wearing masks. None of them were COVID tested.
Good point. Good point.
So how are we sitting here helping another country when our own country's in peril with this pandemic?
Right.
That's beyond me. As far as America moving out and Taliban taking in, they don't fuck with America. That's why they was like, we're not fucking with them. And then once America's pulling out, they're like, now's our time. It's time to capitalize.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're going to put a new government system into place. However, they're trying to also say that they're going to be fair to women through Islamic law. So that, I mean, I don't know what Islamic law is. So that's like a big question mark for me.
Right.
Because women get treated very badly there. I mean, women get treated badly here too. So,
right.
I don't know. It is very interesting. But again, I find it personally hard to focus on what's going on in a whole nother country that does not belong to us when we're sitting here still in the midst of a pandemic.
All valid
trying
points.
To figure out our own shit.
We can't even get this shit right over here, but we still over there.
Yep. Panero, anything you want to add? Federico.
Professional Panero is not being professional.
Like he was just quiet over there. Like you're like, hello.
Bathroom break. It's a bathroom break.
So we gotta fill this time.
Unmute yourself, Federico.
Yo,
it wasn't a bathroom break. No, it wasn't a bathroom break. It was not. No. What had happened was the auntie stepped out.
Oh.
You know, so I was like, fuck. And they sitting in the front, and I'm like, I'm over here podcasting. And they're like, it's only gonna be a few minutes. I'm like, what the F, man? I'm podcasting. I'm up next. I gotta talk.
You certainly are.
So, no, like, all right. So it's time to get spoopy, guys.
I'm ready for the spoopiness.
So I ain't gonna lie.
The
Like,
spoopiness? Wait
like-
a minute. He was supposed to have his rebuttal, but I ain't that thing ready.
who's
Okay,
supposed to have the
PP.
rebuttal?
Go ahead, PP.
Who's supposed to have the
I'm
rebuttal?
Yeah, the Afghani joint, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
He's about
about.
to get spoopy.
Yeah, I'm about to get
It's time
Oh,
to
spoopy
get
with it.
alright,
spoopy.
It's
alright,
not story
alright,
time
go
yet. It's
ahead.
not story time. It's spoopy
Oh, that's
time.
what I thought you were entering.
No, it's
No.
spoopy time because I'm gonna take it left. All right, so I've seen some videos. I'm pretty sure if you guys research it online, I'll find the links later and post them. That these Taliban, like, mind you, they look like U.S. troops left armor, military weapons. I mean, stacks. I'm talking about like you set up picnic tables for like a quinceañera of all $100 bills and like cellophane, like fresh $100 bills that they sitting on. You know, it's funny to me that the government, I understand why they would smash the computers and the hard drives, but then it's funny too, why would they do that? They could be like some compromising information. It could be something else going on. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like they're planning. There's gonna be something happening after August 31st. I feel like
I agree.
something's gonna happen in the U.S. That was
Well,
just gonna
the
be a
31st
war.
So, okay, I'm sorry to interject, but the
No, you're good.
31st is the date that Biden was saying that he wants the
He wants
American
to-
troops out of there.
Yeah,
But the 31st is also the Taliban saying y'all need to be out by this time. So is it really America wanting to be out of there by that time? Or is the Taliban pretty much telling America y'all need to be out by this time? Because
That's
America
the
did
million-dollar
try to
question.
extend.
Word up.
America did try to extend the time frame. And the Taliban said no.
so that's interesting. So that's true. So it can be thing, but I'm just saying, like, once we pull out, I feel like there might be an attack. So I feel like something's bad gonna happen. I'm not gonna lie.
Like, yo,
And
you
my
don't
heart
care
goes
if there's a
out.
pandemic? God
Listen,
damn, yo.
Listen,
Listen,
I'ma
so
say like
many
this.
things
This is
are
why.
happening.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, listen, you ready? This is why I say we're gonna get spoopy.
It's time to get spooky.
Right. So I think it's like some type, like, it might not like ready. The war, not a war, but like the pandemic, yeah, it took some people out. That probably didn't take out as much. I was reading that the virus was man-made from someone in Harvard, that he sold it to China. That he sold it to Wuhan, China.
So it wasn't the bats.
It wasn't the bats, exactly. It could have been like he was testing with bats and found something going on with it. But they didn't really get into too much detail, like it got buried in the news. You know what I mean? Like it was on the news. So they couldn't distract us with the Trump. What was going on with Trump. That wasn't enough to like make us go nuts. Then they come out with this. Now all hell's breaking loose in Afghan on top of what's happening with Israel and Palestine. You know, like it's all too fishy. It's all too much of a coincidence that all this is happening now.
Yeah.
Something major is gonna happen. I don't know what, but I'm calling it. All my tinfoil hat wears.
What? I got my tinfoil hat on.
Tinfoil? Oh my God, I gotta move to
Yeah.
Utah.
Yo,
We
nah,
moving
like
to
you know,
Utah.
no,
man,
that's what,
bitch.
nah,
I can see
'Cause
all
that's
of
what they
you with
call-
tinfoil hat.
Nah, because that's what they call conspiracy theories. Or like you see conspiracy theories, none of crazy people with tinfoil hats talking to themselves, talking about like they're getting into our brains, man. Like they're like CIA has been confirmed with MK Ultra. Just a jack
It's a term
humans
used
to
to
like
describe.
so
conspiracy theories.
it is a term like a lot of
Everybody need Jesus right now.
Everybody needs
Some-
Jesus facts.
I ain't gonna lie. If
said it.
Jesus touched down, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm sorry, dude.
That opens up a whole nother.
That's all.
Pandora's-
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Let's just make sure it's
That's
really Jesus and not
another
the
topic.
Antichrist.
No bullshit.
Let's just make sure it's Jesus and not the Antichrist. It was written.
Yeah. Mm.
Mhm.
It's
'Cause
just, ooh.
I also read something about, I think China and Russia are trying to like lend a hand to Afghan.
Yeah, so I think that's also pressuring us to move out. Because we, like,
I think
already
it was
China.
Russia.
No, China too, I read.
It was
I
both.
believe.
It was
Okay.
Russia and China.
I
Okay.
believe it was
Yeah,
both,
I
yeah.
Because
saw.
I did read
Yeah.
about Russia.
And it's just interesting that now the other countries are trying to jump on the bandwagon. You know what I mean?
Well, but like
For
I,
real.
yeah, like I find it funny though, like is like why we were there for so long. Like if we
Right.
look at other spots that we
Right.
like occupied, like World War II when we took over the East or West Berlin, I forget. I'm sorry. I'm lit.
No bullshit.
But when we split Berlin, we free like
Liddy
basically we
Panera.
free. Yeah, Liddy Panera. No perico.
Sorry.
It's
Oh, yeah,
just
but
interesting. This is interesting
it's
to
just
see that
interesting.
that both our enemies, America's enemies, which is Russia's not too fond of us, the Chinese are not too fond of us, right? America
Blame
has
I don't
been
think
in
a lot of countries are
Afghanistan.
very fond of us.
I blame
to
Trump.
Be
I blame
completely
Trump for that.
honest.
To be honest, right? Like, and I love my country. I'm an American and I'm proud to be, right? So,
Word.
Russia, China are now aiding Afghanistan. Afghanistan has been under our control for about the last 20 years. And for you conspiracy theorists out there, this is, I don't know too much of it, so I don't want to sound crazy, but I am going to put it out there. I remember George Bush Sr. being out in the Middle East. He was trying to, I'm getting a little far-fetched here, but they were trying to get the oil that was out there because there was a lot of money. George Bush Sr. is out of office, comes Clinton, and then George Bush Jr. comes over and, stays there and puts the troops there. I think all of that has to be related at some point because 20 years. And then when it first happened too, like they waged a war against terrorism. Now, if you look at the word terrorism, it's about like these kamikaze people, these like real like extremists, trying to do harm against people. You can't win a war against terrorism. So like how do you like, say that you're gonna portray or claim war against a country over a definition? Like you can't do that. Honestly,
Well, what happened was the whole point of Afghanistan and entering there was to get the Taliban out of control. And they did that.
No,
they were pushing.
Taliban. It was Al Qaeda.
Well, yeah, but Taliban and Al Qaeda, they're 1 and 1, I think, to be honest.
Well,
but
Taliban is saying that they're not going to be like Al Qaeda. That's where.
But back then. But back then it was the Taliban, and the Taliban had what's his name, Osama bin Laden and all that. So what they were trying to do in Afghanistan, where they were trying to get the Taliban out of control of the Middle East, which they did. And now that we're pulling back, they're back in. So it's just very interesting.
Again, like I was saying, more towards Al Qaeda because Al Qaeda was working with Taliban. The Taliban was a separate entity. Al Qaeda is the organization that funded bin Laden, quote unquote. But the Taliban did work with them. But now the Taliban are like, no, we're going to be different than Al Qaeda, this, that, and the third. So America is kind of, I guess, pulling out. And now they want to take shit over. So it's kind of like, are they though? Like.
So basically, right now, I just see that America needs to be on full alert with everything now. So
it's kind of hard to be on full alert when you bring 8 planes full of Afghani people, not saying that all Afghani people are like that, but I'm sure there's people who slipped through the crack.
Yo, Tony, I'm sorry. Edit.
But yeah, I feel like my topic has run its course. And I feel like Sunshine should start her topic.
All right, guys. So I was on Instagram and I saw in the Shade Room, shout out Shade Room,
Shout
that
out Shade.
I saw that there was a headline about Nicki Minaj and her husband, Kenneth Petty. What's going on is that, for those who don't know, back in 1993, Kenneth was charged. He was charged with attempted rape of a minor, and this is a case that he pled guilty for, that he served 4.5 years for. So that's just to give some context to those listening. And the reason that they're getting sued is because the victim, Jennifer Holt, she is claiming to be harassed by both Nicki Minaj and her husband. Apparently, according to the lawsuit, shortly after Petty's arrest last year for not registering to be a sex offender, he gave Minaj the victim's number. And Minaj reached out to the victim and offered to fly her out and her family out to LA to help her. The victim declined the offer. The victim declined the offer. The lawsuit also details that Holt, at another time, was offered $20,000 in exchange for signing a statement that would basically recant her rape story. She also declined that. She said the lawsuit also allegedly states that Nicki Minaj personally called her and reached out to her, offering her another $500,000 to recant the story. The victim told her, allegedly, over the phone, that you need to know, woman to woman, that this happened. And apparently Nicki Minaj hung up. So since she's declined all these offers, her and her family have been getting harassed. They even went after her brother and tried to give him some money to basically testify against his sister. She had to change addresses because they knew where she was staying at the time. And now she's afraid to disclose her current address in fear, basically, because she doesn't want them to find her. And this is all alleged. This is all part of the lawsuit and what the victim's saying. There has been no response from Nicki Minaj or her husband. But this is another one where the track record is not that great. And his track record, I mean, I can't say allegedly for the actual rape because he did time for it. So, and he pled guilty. If he felt like he was innocent, he would have fought that case, and he didn't. So there's that. And now it's becoming like this big, it's coming to a point where the victim is literally scared to be around anyone who may know her or may know about the case that she's involved in. And I think that's like fucked up. So opinions, guys. So how do we feel about that?
Oh, Chef.
No bullshit, right? Like, this isn't the first time that we are putting controversy behind Nicki Minaj's name and question her choices and her paths that she takes throughout her career, right? So it was not too long ago. It came out. I don't know the date or the year, but her brother was convicted of pedophilia, right? Now, the one thing that I do know is that allegedly, or we'll say allegedly, right, that Nicki Minaj had paid for the expenses for attorneys. If someone, I don't know about you guys, right? Like, but I know in my family, if I were to be charged with pedophilia, I probably would lose soldiers. You know what I'm saying? They're like, yeah, listen,
Big facts. Big facts.
That shit out. Figure that shit out, nigga. We got you. We're gonna support you from afar, but figure that shit out, right?
Fuck support, nigga.
More,
I don't know you.
Support.
I
Shout out to Nicole. We got some more support.
Get your ducks in a row, nigga.
Yeah. So the basic, right. So the whole thing is like to support somebody like that. That's detrimental to your career. Again, last week we were talking about publicists and how these artists need that. She probably made the wrong choice right there, right? At least like putting it out there. The other thing is too, there is rumors now that like she's looking for a divorce. She's looking for a divorce from Mr. Petty, Kennedy Petty, right? That's his name, I believe.
Kenneth Petty.
Kenneth Petty. Petty. It's crazy how when shit hits the fan, no bullshit, like you're trying to step out the kitchen. And I just think it's a little funny on your side, right? Like you took a lot of heat. Now, you know, all this information is coming out. It's public information. It's not being hidden. And now you are trying to get yourself out of that situation. It's interesting, to say the least.
So, my thoughts on it. This girl had to move multiple times, Jennifer Huff. She had to move 3 times in 7 months, had to quit her job. Like, it's crazy. Moving is not cheap. And you have to sit here and you have to pay 1 month's rent. Some places require a month and a half of rent of security. So having to do that 3 times within 7 months costs a lot of money. So I think it's right that if they keep harassing her and doing the most, that she gets some type of compensation. You know, I mean, he was convicted of first-degree rape back in 1994. And that just is around the time of Lorena Bobbitt. And Lorena Bobbitt was pretty much the first woman who actually won a case in domestic violence, which kind of goes hand in hand with rape. And that changed the course of laws for women.
Right.
I mean, she had a cut.
You know, it's like the manhood, right? when that
she got her point across.
When that thing comes, when the rings off and it comes around, it's just like, woof, a nigga starts sweating.
and that was only in 93. So the fact that this guy was convicted in 94 of rape because he pleaded guilty is big. And he didn't register again for a sex offender. You're always a sex offender. You can't get that expunged.
Yeah, in California. He was arrested in 2020 in California for not registering.
Right. You're always a sex offender. That's never going to be expunged. And now you're trying to get her to recant her statement from like 20-something years ago. Why now? Is it because he's tied to a name, a big name, as Nicki Minaj?
Right.
Well, he had to register in LA, right? He had to register something, and
he has to
all of this is coming up
because
they moved to LA.
Wherever he settles at, he's going to have to register in that state, and that's the problem. Because I agree with De Niro as far as like, because he's with Nicki Minaj, she's probably also pressing him to do this as well. But at the same time, like, how can you erase that? Like, just because you get her to recant the story, maybe there could be a hope that in the legality aspect that you could reverse that so that he doesn't have to. But he already did the time. He already did the time. You know what I'm saying? And you already pled guilty. Like, how you now? If this lady who has maintained the same story for as long as she has, just up out of nowhere decides to recant it, that's definitely going to look suspicious. And I think that all in all, this is all allegedly because we don't actually know if Nicki Minaj isn't even doing this, but I do know that she has a radio station called Queen Radio, and which she stated on the radio that she tried to make it seem that her husband never did that. That she tried to say that it was consensual, and it's like, how the fuck do you know that? You weren't even there.
Yeah.
Like, so I would like to add.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so that's the part where I just want to say stuff, because that's the part where I have something to say. Because, all right, so we're talking about Kenneth, right? Whatever. He did what he did, right? So now Nicki Minaj, I kind of feel like she's kind of like, I want to say, like, how dare you, in a way? You know what I'm saying? Like, how, first of all, you weren't there when it happened, right? He already pled guilty, okay? He already did his time. And I'm assuming that you knew this, because how do you not know about a person's past when you decide to marry somebody? So if you knew this, okay, you knew that this would probably come out sooner or later, right? And now she's like, now that she doesn't want it to come out, she's harassing the victim. Like, how does that make you look as a person? Not even just as a celebrity, as a person. You're going after the victim. Not like, if anything, you should be telling your husband. If you didn't know about it, then I can understand. But when you're like, oh, talking to your husband saying, oh, now I want a divorce, that's already a bit too late. Now she's like, oh, now I want a divorce. If that's the case, El Chef had just said that it's a rumor that she might want to get this divorce. But it's already a bad look on her already. There's another female stating that your husband, sexually assaulted her back in 1994, and now you're trying to pressure her to recant her statement. Like, what? I can understand you supporting your husband, Dika, right? Like, oh, I love him, I want to be there for him, but you're making yourself look guilty in the same sense. You're going out there looking for this girl, telling her, oh, here's money, recant your statement. Like, how can a person do that to another person? Like, what are her morals now? So right. That makes us question, like, right, like you're more like, this girl has suffered so much, and yet you want to put more on her. You're making her move 3 times. Oh, for 20,000? Seriously? Like, and then now she's basically saying, oh, now she wants to get a divorce, but the damage already has been done to your name. Because you here trying to attack this girl in a way. You're putting pressure on her. You're harassing her. You're making her scared for her life. That wasn't her fault. What happened back then? Yeah, like what happened back then wasn't her fault. It was your husband's fault. If anything, you should be kicking him out. You should be saying, you know what? I don't want to be in this relationship anymore, or whatever. You should not be attacking the victim. Like, that's insane. And to me, that makes Nicki Minaj look shitty. I'm sorry, but it makes her look shitty.
I agree with that. It does make her look, it makes her look bad. And like I said, her track record is not that great as far as her brother. She's the one who paid the bail for her brother during that whole case that was going on. That's how he was able to be free for momentarily, because she had paid for the bail. And right. She's also worked with 6ix9ine, who allegedly also raped a young girl. They claim that he's a pedophile, allegedly. But, so to me, she doesn't really have, because like El Chef said, if I had a family member who preyed on a young girl that was like twice her age, I'm not fucking with that person. Like, I'm not
because you're
that person. I am jumping ship, losing soldiers. The sergeant is down, bro.
What? To make one thing really clear, I'm taking down.
To make one thing really clear, though, Ken is petty, and not in his defense, because I am in the victim's defense. But he was 16-year-old as well as she when this took place, so he wasn't overage.
But still.
Consent. Consent.
A sex with no consent is.
I understand that. That's why I said this was not in defense. I said just to make it clear. Because
right, it wasn't. I didn't agree with
you. He was.
I was gonna
raped.
I was gonna state that as well. I was gonna state they were both 16 at the time, but it still doesn't matter at the end of the day.
Oh no, absolutely not. It doesn't negate the fact that it was still first degree rape.
Man, and like, that's. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chef. Because once I say my shit, I'm gonna
just to piggyback on Sunshine, is just that her track record doesn't look good on her, right? And we also had mentioned this not so long ago, I think it was last week, that like, when these ratchet people get money and they're in the limelight, they don't know how to like register that, right? They're just going by what they know, right? So many hood rats stand by their men, no matter what. I still know people that still freaking say R. Kelly's that nigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so. But with the whole 6ix9ine thing,
It's like 6ix9ine. He supposedly like he didn't know that the girl was underage. He had intercourse with her, and even though it's still there, but you still decide to put yourself out there when he comes out of jail, knowing the fact that he told on his whole camp and still did a track with him that probably he never has to make another music song again because now he's set for life. You know what I mean? Like it just doesn't look good for the queen. And she's got hits, man. This is unbelievable.
I mean,
Girl is definitely talented, but it's unfortunate you find yourself in these types of situations.
Right.
I wanted to add like one last thing that before we move on from the topic.
Well, yeah, before I say my piece.
Yeah, before because Perico didn't get to say what he had to say. Yes. So before we get into him, I just wanted to quickly add that it isn't the first time that she has or someone has said that she has bullied. So she has that on her track record as well, which doesn't make it that hard to believe that she could very well be doing this because she has have that on her as well, that she can be a bully.
And that she's a nightmare behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
These are allegedly happening.
Well, she was beefing with Mariah Carey on American Idol. She was coming after Cardi hard because Cardi was coming and making noise.
That's the one.
I ain't gonna lie, Cardi is the right one to catch in the street because Cardi is about that action.
She about that life.
She about that life. Shout out to Cardi B. Shout out.
Like I ain't gonna front. I seen an old YouTube video of Cardi and Young Ma getting into it.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yep.
I said, yo, I don't want to get.
Wait a minute.
Back before they were famous. Yeah, before they were famous. Before they were really like popping when they were starting out.
Who took the crown?
Shit got calmed down.
Yeah, calm down, but like niggas was swinging. I ain't gonna lie, they were swinging.
Yeah,
they were swinging.
There was haymakers.
What?
I gotta see this.
Come on,
I digress.
Yeah, yeah. When I find the clip, I'll send you the link. When I find it, I'll send you the link.
Please do. I gotta see this.
So, like, I ain't gonna lie. Like, the Barb fans gonna hate me. You ready? I could give two shits about the Barbies.
You ready? You ready
for this? It's not even story time yet.
You ready?
I need to add the Generation X. Are you ready?
Sunshine, you ready?
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
All right.
Are you ready?
Black Eye, you ready?
I'm ready.
Oh, there we go.
I am so ready.
We have a special guest on the line. Too. I just wanted to say, but are you ready, Mr. Special Guest over there? I don't think he's ready.
Who are you talking about?
You.
Oh, my bad.
We got Splendid Daddy in the building.
We got
Splendid
Daddy.
Yo.
Daddy, you left me for
My bad, family. My bad.
It's all right. Just make sure you don't say no names.
Yeah, no names.
All right. What's good, family? What's good?
So,
what's goody, bro?
Like I was saying, they're gonna hate me. Fuck y'all, first and foremost, because you're not gonna like what I'm gonna have to say. At the end of the day, Nicki knew what she was stepping into. She was stepping into this relationship with this, because hey, him being a sex offender, that's public information. And when he flashes that ID, like you got that sex offender card on you. You have to have that sex offender card on you.
Yeah, it's like the COVID card, right?
Yeah, like and that's not mandatory. That's by law. You need that shit on you.
That's word.
That's not like, oh no, we don't really need to see. No, you need to have that 24/7.
Right.
So yeah, she has a reputation of being a bully. All this, I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know. Like, it just made me sick to my stomach knowing that you know all this, and
You stood by him.
you know, like you said, Stretch FA. If people jumping off the boat, I ain't gonna lie, I love you. Even for me, like even if I did some shit like that, I'm not expecting the people to be like, "Yo, Jay didn't do that." I ain't gonna lie, my bad.
You mean Panera ain't do that?
Yeah, that's an edit. That's
an edit. So Perico ain't do that, right? That's like if I hear, oh, Chef had banged on shout out the whole block. Mind you, he could have came to me and told me, yo, Panera, I did this.
Panera, I shot those blocks.
I shot the whole block. My guy. I shot it up. My brother ain't do that shit.
Exactly. That's exactly why I said that. Exactly.
Why are you talking about? He ain't do that. Oh, he jumped you. Oh, nah, you lying. My brother's good. Watch your mouth. I ain't gonna intimidate nobody. My brother, yo, you a damn liar. Watch your mouth.
You ain't
show me the proof. You need the video of him like R. Kelly, no piss on you video. I need that type of proof.
Right. But like to see her do that,
no, but to intimidate, yeah, like that's one, she's victim shaming because like Sunshine said they got on a phone call and she said, you know, woman to woman, I gotta let you know this happened. And for Nikki to just hang up, like, so you don't want to hear it. Like you don't like so ready. I don't care. That's why I said I don't give a fuck if the Barbie fans hate me. Because Nikki don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. No bullshit.
500K, right, Sunshine? You said 500K?
Yeah, they offered
500K.
Listen,
500. It was one time it was 500K, and the second time it was 20K.
Listen.
So they brought that down to like nothing.
They brought it down. They
telling me, yo.
How you go from 500K to 20K?
You're telling me you smacked me in the face not once, not twice, but like 5 different times, and I'm supposed to sit there and be like, nah, I'm gonna change my story. SMD, yo, SMD.
I'm gonna need that ScarJo money lawsuit. That's the type of money we talking.
The Disney money lawsuit?
I need Disney money. I need Disney money.
Yeah, Disney money.
And on top of that, you need to pay I need extra because I got pain and suffering. I had to move. I got debt. My family, yo. That's I need. But show me what is it?
Jerry Maguire, show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. Oh, 500K.
Yo, Splenda, how do you feel about that? I wonder what Splenda feels about that whole situation.
Yeah, Mr. Under Armour.
Does Splenda even know what is happening?
Somebody gotta bring him up to date. Somebody
he came in late.
We'll get his information. We'll get his own opinion on the next topic.
But the one thing I will say about this is like I commend what's her name? The
Jennifer
Huff.
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah, I commend her. I commend her like by sticking to her guns.
Mm-hmm.
She is not budging because she knows that he was the one who fucked up. She knows that she's right. She's fighting for not just herself, but for every other freaking rape victim out there, you know? Yeah. So you know what? I commend her on sticking to her guns and not letting them pressure her into doing what they want her to do. So, yeah.
Is it almost story time?
Allegedly, guys.
Allegedly, yes.
Everything is allegedly.
Allegedly wanting her to do.
The word of the day is allegedly.
Allegedly.
And now it's about to be story time.
It is
time with PP.
So I ain't trying to get nobody. Yeah, it's an official story time with Perico. I've been like posting this on Instagram and Facebook. I've been having many story times. And this is the proper spot to have my story time. So I had a crazy Saturday.
Allegedly.
No, allegedly.
Allegedly.
Fuck allegedly.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, that was funny as hell.
It was funny, Daddy. It was. So, no, it was crazy. I'm talking about your boy ain't go to sleep till like 7 o'clock in the morning. So as you guys know, I'm the closer of my job, so I don't get out till 11. I was blessed to actually get out on time at 11 to shut down. My boy hits me up talking about where I'm at. He's gonna come through. He comes through. I already had my drink. He's like, "Oh, it's nice. It's cool. Oh, you out in the open is then the third." I'm like, "Yeah, I like people see me cook, so I gotta wash my mouth. You know, I can't talk how I normally talk. Hear me, baby." So he's like, let's hit the other joint. We like, all right, bet. I'm down. We hit it. He's like, yo, I gotta go pick up Shorty, basically his wife and the sister. Pick them up. I said, you know, stop at my crib, change, and go out. We're having a good time. You know, now we're drinking Patron, Casamigos. It's a cool time. I'm trying to get to know the sister better because she's giving boy the vibes. You know, she's
Perico's
actually.
Yeah, he's on this Panero.
Perico's
He's on his Panero.
You ready? You ready? I am on the Perico Panero vibes hard because she was like, when's your birthday? I said, ooh, my birthday's actually coming up.
Shout out to all the Virgos.
Yeah, shout out to Virgos. We had to walk those Leos out real quick.
All right, let's get back to Panera with the plan. Let's go.
Yeah. So homegirl's like, I don't really drink. I smoke. I said, boo, me too.
De Niro is a Gemini, just to say. I'm just saying.
That story long as hell.
Yeah, keep interluding. So, right.
Splenda about to get muted.
Yeah. So, you know, we're trying to smoke. They start arguing. I forget what the fuck they start arguing about, but they argue. So he pays and walks out. So now I'm sitting there like, bird. So I basically get told an ultimatum. And I say like this, like I told you guys in group chat, I get told bend the knee or die. So she tells me, you're gonna leave with hubby, or you staying here drinking with us. So being the gentleman I am, I said I'm not leaving the ladies at the bar.
Gentleman.
No, I'm not leaving two females at the bar. I'm sorry.
Right.
Especially more
with
than
the plan.
Right. Yeah, Panero's being a chivalrous.
You know, yeah, you know, like I got sisters, I got nieces, I got nephews, I got a nephew, you know, like we got 6 examples. So anyway, you know, she's telling me, you know, she knows he's cheated, this, that, and the third, that. She had beef with me, that she's gonna fight me. The last time she pulled up on him, that's the last time they got into it that I seen. And I was confused. I didn't even know we had beef. This and the third. She's like, no, because so homie don't say phone numbers. He don't say the names. You know?
Right.
Whatever the case, he don't say that. You know, hey, so he's just on everyone that, you know, people put nicknames, whatever.
That's suspect.
She's thinking I'm a 484 number, but I'm not a 484 number. I'm not a Pennsylvania number. So she's assuming that like he's telling me all this stuff when actually I'm in the dark. So she tells me, oh, like I know he brought homegirl to the house. She said she's gonna fight me. Like, take on these females talk to me like that. You know, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. I was like, I ain't know. Panero, I seen the videos. She's like, Panero, I seen them. I seen the video. I seen the messages. I'm like, what messages? So she walks off. You know, and I show the sister. I'm like, yo, but like, look at my messages. I let her scroll through all the messages we had. It don't say nothing. She's like, oh, $30 for an eighth. I need your peoples. I say, yeah, boo, 100 for a half. Holla at me.
We don't do those kind of things around here.
I know y'all probably don't. Well, hey, that's prices I get. Watch your mouth. So we go out, you know, like we go outside because it's closing time. Homeboys in the car. Me and Shorty like, all right, we're gonna let them talk it out, and we're just gonna sit out here and smoke. Mind you, it's raining. I look over as I'm passing Shorty the blunt, and I see wifey swinging on there. I'm like, oh, it's on. I'm like, I'm just gonna mind my business. As long as he don't swing, I'm Gucci. But now I'm not paying attention because now I'm on pretty Panero time. Because I'm trying to see where the sister's at. He said you know, I'm trying to get her to take those PTO to stay to my birthday. So, you know, hey, we can go to New York. Like she's like, I take you to New York. Like my treat. I said, ooh. You know? She's like, too bad I had to leave.
So Panero's trying to flirt with the sister right now. Right? He's like, whatever to the others, right?
Yeah, whatever. I look over now. I guess homie had enough, and he hopped in the back seat. He said enough is enough. Like he got tired to get hit on. I feel him. I get tired too. I don't know what happened because I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm drunk. So as I'm trying to get the number in the phone, wifey hops out like, my eye does down a third. He blacked it. Like, nah. At the time, it didn't look like it's black, but you can tell like her eye was messed up.
Kevin Hart voice is about to go down.
Fuck, about to go down. It went down. It went down. So now she's crying this, that, and the third. So now she's like, you know, she's PO'd. I understand. She's like, how am I explaining this to my daughter? I said, I don't know because I got a niece. I'll be livid.
2 hours later.
About to get the number.
No. So she's out. Her eyes already fucked up. She's like spazzing. She's trying to get back in the car. He got the door open. I'm separating them. I'm trying to my best, mind you. He's about like 4 foot something. She's like my height. So, you know, it's kind of hard to keep someone with my height restrained from someone that's 4 foot something.
They don't know your height.
Wait.
Nero, they don't know your height.
Nero, you like 5'3".
No, I'm 5'6", bro.
Wait. So the guy friend is 4 something?
He's like 4 foot. He gotta be like he gotta be like Sunshine's height, her hubby's height.
Okay.
All I need to know is if 5 foot or under.
Yeah, he's definitely under 5 feet. He's definitely under 5 feet. He's definitely under 5 feet.
Swimming pool height.
Yeah. He don't gotta be in the So thank God one of the workers come out. Mind you, we had a crowd. Not a crowd, but we had like the workers that was left there like watching us. Thank God they called the police. Because once the police came, I was out. Fuck y'all, I'm out. I don't know nobody. There's a gun in the car, and I don't know shit. I'm out. Fuck everyone.
Wow, yo. Yeah, we don't do popo.
Nah, I don't fuck with the police. I'm not doing it. Not doing these tough times. But anyway, so the dude, we get her away. He closes the door. So now she's now she gets back to the car and she starts kicking the car. They're trying to break the glass. I'm like, yo, chill, shorty, chill. If you want to hit something, hit me. Like, hit me in the chest. But watch the face piece. So I'm starting getting mushed, all this stuff. So I'm getting kind of tight because I'm like, yo, watch the fucking face. But I know she's drunk and upset. So I ain't doing nothing.
The money.
So she got a bottle. That's the money making. You know, I got to explain this shit at work.
Fuck that. Go punch a ball. Go ahead.
Nah, right. Because you better than me, nigga. Me and the Nero was talking about this shit, nigga. Because I was like, nigga, you ain't in me. I ain't a puncher bag.
Nah, like I get it. You need something to hit, and I'd rather you not break your hand. You know, if you a dude, I get gentlemen. You punch whatever the fuck you want. Break your hand.
This is gentleman.
She got kids,
Panero,
and she's pregnant.
This is gentleman Panero.
Yeah, so like she's pregnant. All this, I'm trying to like, you know.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm trying to
not
like.
That she's, oh my God, wait, not that she's pregnant. The fact that she's going through this while being pregnant.
Yeah, you know, like, so. Oh. She grabbed the bottle. So right then and there, my mind was like, I ain't getting knocked the fuck out. So the sister's like, Panero, you definitely need to move. I said, yeah, because I ain't getting knocked out. Fuck that. I'm gonna warn all our viewers. If you ever see someone pick up a green thick ass bottle, just know you ain't going nights. You ain't going into a coma. Someone's out to kill your ass. Fuck the twisted tea. That one smack with that is not breaking. That glass is not breaking because she was using that shit as a hammer. She was hacking with it. Yeah, it was in a Heineken. I know it wasn't a Heineken because a Heineken would break off rip.
Was it a beer or alcohol? Because it's kind of giving me Remy vibes.
Beer. It was a beer. Yeah, it was a beer.
We gonna have to research green bottles.
No, it looked like a Houlihan. It looked like a Houlihan's.
Well, Stella Artois in a green bottle too.
No, it was like a dark green label.
Tanqueray is also in a green bottle.
The label was like a dark.
Moving on.
So yeah. So she had a nice hole.
Green bottle.
So she made a nice hole on the driver's side. Mind you, we got out the club. We got out the bar at 2:30. Now it's like 3:30. She made a nice hole in the car. and her hands bleeding after she dropped the bottle that she had on the phone. She had his phone. So she's talking to the mom and all this stuff. And I'm like, yo, let me see your hand because I see it's leaking. So I took my shirt off and I wrapped her hand. She's like, I don't get 2 fucks. I said, yeah, but if you cut something deep, I want to know. Because then you got to go to the fucking hospital. She got kids. You know, y'all got kids like this and the third. So now he's tight. Thank God the dad came. He tried to hop out. I'm telling him, yo, like basically I threatened him. I said, yo, you don't leave, me and you gonna fight. And I'm amped now. Like, now I'm amped. Because
Help me! Help me!
I'm telling you, leave. You being here is escalating it. You're not helping.
Are you telling Kevin Hart that?
Yeah, telling Kevin Hart.
All right, true.
So
Kevin Hart.
So like I'm like, yo, bro, like
Shout outs
leave.
to Kevin Hart, yo.
I'm like, fucking leave, bro. Like fucking just leave. Leave. Do me the fucking favor. If you love me like a bro, leave. You leave right now. I'll make sure to get home. Don't worry about it. I'll make sure to get home. I'll make sure to get in the Uber. I'll make sure all that. I don't get 2 shits. So finally the dad comes. When the dad comes, they talk a little bit, the dad looks, and he pulls off. So again, so then you know, she's talking mad shit to the mom. They drop me off. I'm like, fuck. So I try to call the phone. After like a half hour later, it gets banged on. So 10 minutes later, she calls me. Like, yo, you see my phone? I said, no, where you at? She's like, they called the cops on me. There's then the third. So I instantly jumped up and walked to her house. And walked to their house. Because cops got called, she got kids, you know, like I don't know where the fuck he's at because she got his phone and I don't know her phone. So long story short, cops wasn't there. So we's talking. She gets her phone, and she's telling me like, you know, she knows, like, you know, she's gonna chalk it up to the game, like, you know, basically no bitch is better than her. 5 minutes, and she tells me she basically tells me like too much information that I felt really uncomfortable when I said I didn't need to know that. And she's like, no, but it's true. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I should have stayed my ass home. Right? I'm like, look at me being fucking a nice guy. This is what the fuck I get. I gotta hear shit I don't want to hear. And I'm telling her, like, I'm explaining to her, like why I'm like, why I fuck with him. I fuck with Kevin Hart because no bullshit. He's cool people. He is. Yes, he's hot headed. Yes, he has some anger issues. But as an older person, I feel like, yo, I can show you the path, like, because I've been there. Yeah, guys know I got a lot of anger built in me, and at any given time, I could just snap.
You can snap, and that's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, it is. But then seeing it, I'm like, yo, like I gotta like think, like you guys know, like from what I was to what I am now, I'm more team. I'm not as team. I can snap, but like not as frequent, you know.
Yeah, so, that's a fact.
I'm explaining to her like, yo, like I like, because I'm older. I'm about to be 32. He's 27. I'm like, yo, like you know, like I'm trying to explain to him he got kids, bro. Like this and the third. Like it's not worth it. It's not worth all this shit. It's not worth it. Just work. Just work. You get paid good. Like ain't nothing out in these streets. Ain't nothing worth your life. Ain't nothing. And I'm not saying he's in the streets. Like he works hard. It's just there's nothing to get hot headed over. To get into something that like you could have been damn.
I feel as if this story, right? I'm not even gonna hold you, Panera. I feel like no bullshit. This is like a scene that could have been in a movie somewhere.
Yo, I felt like I was in a movie, bro. Bro, the whole time I'm like, yo, there's no cops. I said, there's no cops coming. I'm like, we loud as hell. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yo, somebody won.
Yo, I'm like, where's Ashton Kutcher
that night?
I'm like, where's Ashton Kutcher? I'm like, I'm being punked right now.
So Panera, so what happened? So like, how did you get home? Like, what happened?
So basically, we was talking after she like tried to wipe my tears. And I was like, whoa, pause. The sister and the brother came down. So I was like, yes, God, here comes your beautiful sister. And she's like, oh, you like my sister? I said, yeah, you hurt my feelings saying that you wasn't gonna put me on. Like I got a roster. Like I'm not that guy. I'm a good noodle. No SpongeBob. So They're like, yo,
Noodle.
we can't. Basically, they can't get the sister. They, like to bring her upstairs.
You a good noodle, Panero.
Yeah, I'm a good noodle.
Yo, this is Panero on a daily. I just want the audience to know.
Yeah.
This is Panero
regular,
at his finest.
Yeah.
This is at his finest.
Yeah, it's got shout out to the CBD.
My fault.
So
started.
I hit him up. No, wait, no. But, like, I'm gonna finish this last bit. So he hits me up like we all good. I say, yeah, we definitely need to talk this, that, and the third. I tell him, bro, you owe me big time. Like, you owe me big time. And he was like, what you mean? I said, bro, I was about to bag the sister. I was like, I put the fucking hands close, like the prayer hands. I was like, I was this close to bagging it, bro. She was down to hang out with me on my birthday. I ain't saying she was DTF, but she was down to hang out. You know?
No bullshit. Hold on, I got something to say.
Wait. So he's like, I got you. I'm like, she be back. I was like, I believe it. He's like, oh no, I'm not gonna forget. I say, no, I believe it. I believe like she be back. She was feeling the kid. He's like, oh yeah, because her exes was white boys. I said, oh, she wanna try caramel because she said vanilla's too plain.
All right, Panero.
I really said that. Nah, I really did say that.
All right, Panero.
I really did say that.
You're more like dulce de leche, nigga. You're not caramel,
but if you look
bro.
at it, well, if you can describe it as a color, it'd be caramel.
Isn't? But
It's gonna be caramel. Ricky B.
Yeah.
No.
I mean enchete.
And it's yo, hold on. Dulce de leche is like darker. Caramel is a little lighter.
It's caramel. It's all caramel. Darker, lighter. You cook it longer. You make it darker. It's caramel.
Well, he's a little darker than caramel. That's what I was gonna say, nigga. But then, like, the moral of this story, I'm trying to figure it out.
So the moral of the story, they're together. Like mind you, like when I was telling you guys, I feel like it's a toxic relationship because she's basically saying she's with him because of the kids. She don't want it. Like, so if you don't want to be with him, but you're with him with the kids, and y'all together because of the kids, then y'all should just co-parent and be separate and be happy than be miserable together. And, the kids, like, I hate when people use the kids as an excuse. Because then you're showing the kids, like, it's okay to be in this type of relationship. And me as an uncle, I have no kids. But me as an uncle, if my nieces and nephews, if they were witnessing that type of stuff, I gank all y'all motherfuckers up. And we definitely gonna have a discussion. You think I snapped before. You ain't see shit.
Well,
the thing is where go ahead.
Living in the hood, unfortunately, I've witnessed some shit too. So I relate to your story. I understand. I mean, it sucks, and it's always the kids. It's always the catalyst that's keeping them together.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, if you're unhappy, it's going to translate to the kid. Kids can see it. Kids are very much more perceptive than what adults give them credit for.
Yeah, no, and this is what messed me up. My bad. When I got in the car, it was me, her, the sister, and the son, the oldest son. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, what the fuck, bro? So when they all got out, and it was just me and her, I told her, like, yo, your son should not be familiar because you be seeing that shit like Panero. I said, no, that's no excuse. I don't want to hear that. Your kids, I was like, I draw the line right there. Your kids should not ever see this. I was like, because no matter what my parents went through, and no matter how much of a shitty father my real father is, my mother never allowed anybody to talk shit about my dad in front of me. And she had every right to. She had every fucking right to talk shit about that motherfucker. Now my stepfather, who I consider my real father, who I consider my actual father, everybody has their faults, not perfect. But I give it to him.
Yo, no bullshit. This is how I'm feeling, right? Like Kevin Hart, you need to step away from that nigga from a little bit.
No, I told him he's on timeout. You on timeout. Don't tell me we going out.
Y'all was going out to have a good time, right?
And it got messed up. And then he ended up going back to the same. I said, "What the f, man? You went back to the same spot the next day after you closed the ruckus? I'm like, you wild boy."
it's like everybody in this podcast, my co-hosts, like we from the hood, like when those scenarios happen, and I'm pretty sure this will not be the last time it happens. So like, might as well, Panero, just exclude yourself and all the listeners as well. If there's a toxic situation like that, try to exclude yourself from that. I did also mention that not only does he need to give you an apology, but I guess, wifey needs to give you an apology.
Wifey,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
wifey needs a diamond
because
ring,
she put her hands on you. You know what I'm saying? She put her hands on you at that point. So
no. I'm gonna correct that. I told her to. I gave her permission.
But I get that. But still, like,
she did not hit me. She did not hit me. She
didn't hit you in the face.
She mushed me. She mushed me. That's it. She mushed me twice. That's it. So I told her, because she did try to, and said no, I don't want to hear, because I did give you permission. She did say it wasn't right for me, but I said no. You wanted to hit something, it better be as better. You at least mush me, then punch the car and broke your hand, or like cut yourself bad. I was like, because anybody know Kennedy High School? Kennedy's wild, and I was there. I seen a kid punch a fucking teacher's a classroom door window and cut his hand badly. So imagine what a car door would do.
Yeah, it's like everybody needs a timeout, just so that like gentleman Panero doesn't have to come out again for some bullshit like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, I said it. I said, yeah, no, don't. When he said I'm back over here, in my mind I said, I pray to God you don't tell me what you doing if I'm home, because I'm gonna be like, I'm doing some shit, I'm busy. Why? What's up? You trying to drink? We sit on the front porch and drink, but I don't want to go out. I don't want to go unfortunate. Like that.
But yo, that was that's an interesting segment right there, right, y'all? Like that's crazy.
Like, what the story. Well, unfortunately, what happened that day shouldn't have happened. And when it comes down to you stating like a toxic relationship, I have a child, and I kind of know how it is on the other side. I'm not saying about a toxic relationship, but I can sympathize to the point of someone trying to work out a relationship because of the kids. I can see where it comes from.
Excuse me.
Like I can see where, I don't know if it was her or who was trying to make it work. But I can see where it comes from. Like, oh, I'm trying to work things out because we have a kid together. I've been in my own relationship where I was trying to make things work because of my child. And in the end, it didn't work. But at least I could say that I tried, to keep the family together. Now, if it was toxic to the point where everybody's hitting each other, see, that's different. I would never put my child in that situation where they will see that happening. But
no, they weren't hitting each other in front of the kids. Thank God.
Yeah, but you know what? But the kids will see marks.
The aftermath
on the face or the hand or like wherever.
Yeah, because he did have a mark. He did have a mark.
Yo, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But kids are very perceptive and they see things, and not only do they see things, they hear things.
Yo,
so
and I called the daughter. That's 21 questions. That's another 21 questions.
So, but I would never stay in a relationship if it ever got physical. That's just me. I've never been the person to try to stay because of, regardless of the kids, I will never stay in a relationship if it got physical, point blank. But I do understand trying to work something out because of the kids. I can sympathize with that. Like I said, I tried it. It didn't work, but at least I can say, you know what? I tried, but obviously it wasn't meant to be. But when it comes to being in toxic relationships, it all comes down to emotion. It's the emotional connection with the person. So he could be, or she could be treating him wrong, or he could be treating her wrong, but they will say, oh, I still love that person. I still love him. I still love him. I think he could change this and that. And that's where people stay. And that's where
my thing is, the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
Facts.
Yeah, but when it comes to the heart, when
I
it comes
agree.
to your heart, logic doesn't matter.
But at a certain point, it has
It
to
better
register.
matter.
At a certain point, it has to
Not
register
in the
to
beginning
fact.
though.
No, I'm not.
I'm
I
sorry.
didn't say what.
I'm sorry. Continue.
But I said at a certain point, it comes to a point where you have to see that it's no longer a mistake. It is a choice.
Right.
I like
And that's
that.
true.
You got all
And that's
philosophical and shit. That was dope.
that's true, but it takes a while for them to see that. Whoever it is, it could be anybody, the male or the female. It takes a while. It's all in the beginning. It's all about how you feel emotionally. Oh, I love him or I love her. I don't want to end it. Then after a while, after time passes, then it's like, damn, yo, like I got to do something about it now. Like now, love is not working. I have to change. That's what I'm trying to say.
No, I get that. That's why I said at a certain point, there has to be a line somewhere,
Yeah, and usually it's not gonna come from that person. It's gonna have to come from like an owl source, right? It has to be like, yo, like if that was my sister that was going through it, like, yo, Amanda, you gotta wake up and smell the coffee because this, that, and the third is happening. But you being in that situation, going through it in that relationship, you're not gonna see it. Because you're so involved in what's happening, you know what I mean?
And that's
so I get both.
That's a slippery slope because
Edit.
then you as the friend
Sorry, we gotta edit
can
that.
come out.
Edit,
would say
Panera,
that-
you gotta edit.
I would
I got
say
you.
that when it involves, I want to say that everybody in some point in their life has been a little dumb when it came to someone they really loved and cared about. I feel like that has been everybody. That's just such a common thing. Now, I do agree that when it comes to the physical, definitely that's like a wake-up call. You need to cut ties. But sometimes it's not so cut and clean because some people use manipulation as a way to get their partners to come back and say like, oh, like, I'm gonna change or I'm gonna do this, and then they words are very nice, and a lot of the times what people do is that when they hear those things, because they really want those things, they're willing to give it another try, especially when kids are involved. Do I think you should stay with someone just because of kids? Absolutely not. Because yes, you want to give your child a happy home, but how much of a happy home are you going to give that child when it's toxic? That will transfer onto the child. The child can still live a happy life if you have a healthy co-parenting, where the child doesn't feel like the stability is completely lost. That I do believe can happen through healthy boundaries. But to stay with someone just because you have a kid, to me, is not a good excuse, because you're affecting yourself and the kid. And it's even though it's kind of like a paradox, because you're doing it because you don't want to be selfish, but then it's like you kind of are, because you're gonna make this child have a very, very fucked up view on relationships. So
De Niro said it, like, it's a slippery slope, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's a slippery.
Because
It's
as a friend,
definitely
you could end up being alienated because you had an opinion. It's difficult. I mean, personally, I've been a friend to somebody that has been in that type of relationship. So it's very slippery slope. Like, there's no easier way to say it. It's not cut and dry. It's not. But
yeah,
there has to be that level where it's enough is enough.
A breaking point.
Yeah.
That's
and
why
unfortunately, sometimes. I'm sorry.
No, Flacker, go ahead.
Unfortunately, sometimes, sad to say, but sometimes some people don't know when enough is enough, and that's why there's a lot of people who unfortunately pass, die, from domestic violence, domestic abuse and stuff, because some people some people they don't know when that line is crossed. Their lines are very blurred, because
but then you end up in a situation like Lorena Bobbitt.
But like I said before, sometimes, unfortunately, because of the love or the lust or whatever you want to call it, maybe the codependency or whatever, they stick around. And it's sad to say, but not everyone has that the willpower to leave. And they need to find that. They need to find that willpower to leave if it's like that toxic, you know.
That's why it's important for everyone that knows somebody that's going through it right now to be that voice for them. If you know someone that's actually going through the physical and domestic part about it, it's so important to be like, hey, listen, wake up and smell the coffee, as I mentioned. Yeah, reach out, talk to somebody. Somebody's always going to be there for you. Yeah.
Support groups, therapy, all
everything is
friends, family.
If you don't feel comfortable, like we said on the last podcast, if you don't feel comfortable talking to friends or family, hey, you feel comfortable talking to a stranger, there's hotlines. There's online anonymous chats and stuff, like there's things out there for help. My thing is I just don't want to see either of them on the news for something crazy because one had enough, because I do consider them good friends,
Right.
Guys, I was going to say that if you guys need to reach out to someone and you do not want to speak to your family about it, you can reach out to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. It will be 1-800-799-SAFE.
Good girl.
That's right. I love it.
That's what I like. That's what I like.
This whole topic escalated real quick, right?
There was a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of
it all kind of relates to. Yeah, I mean, R. Kelly and his toxic harem.
Oh man,
Nicki Minaj and her toxic man.
For real, there's a lot of toxicity up in here.
I'm not gonna lie, like when we build our fan base, we might have a child. Like we might have some fans that are toxic. It's inevitable.
Yes, stay out of our comments. You hear me?
No, I will be going through comments. I definitely will be going through comments.
Listen. The barbs, if they have something they want to say, you could come holla at me.
I will give no fuck.
You guys accordingly.
Put all the comments.
Because honestly, I'm so sick of these. Like, yo, I can understand. I know this is like a little off topic, but like I can understand having fans that love you, but some of y'all are toxic as hell and y'all need a life. Like, y'all need a life. Because the way that you guys go and try to cancel people and stuff like that, stop it. It was wrong.
Nobody's perfect.
Right.
Nobody is perfect. You're not. Yeah. You're not perfect.
Mm-hmm. And what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. What's right is right. And if this is what's going out there, I know it's gonna suck because you guys like worship these people. Like, just there's a world outside the computer. Go live it.
Mm-hmm. No bullshit. I agree.
But to all the great fans out there, who are not toxic, please subscribe to our page. This is the No Bullshit channel. We all love you. Yeah.
We're doing it.
Yeah, like I said before, we all need Jesus.
For real?
I don't want to laugh. You see, I might sound shallow and stuff like that. No, the timing.
The timing, yeah. We love Jesus. We all love Jesus.
We love Jesus.
If anybody has anything to add,
I'm done.
I think that was a wrap.
I'm pretty much ready to wrap. Yo,
it's a rental.
This is the No Bullshit Podcast, and Sunshine is signing out.
All right, Sunshine. All right.
Thank you for listening.
Time for me to sign out too. Let me follow suit.
Like and subscribe, comment, and please do.
We'll be back here again next with some more bullshit.
Anytime next with some more bullshit, baby. It might be stinkier next time. You hear me?
You heard me, baby.